Hi, and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Karen Allen, and this is the show that takes a closer look at the individuals and the organizations that make this community worth talking about. Today, we're talking cars, small cars, big cars, and of course, fast cars. We'll be talking to Tom Long from GMP, as well as Keith Maney from Year One. So stay with us, Talk of the Town. We'll be right back.
I think someone at my friend's school has this thing called autism. My friend's brother's son has autism. My neighbor's son has autism. My son has autism.
Autism is getting closer to home. Today, 1 in 110 children is diagnosed with autism. That's a 600% increase in the last 20 years. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Weight loss, it's one of the many ways to fight osteoarthritis pain. For more information on managing pain, go to fightarthritispain.org.
Explore new worlds. Read. Visit literacy.gov.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Karen Allen. I'm here with Tom Long from GMP. Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Well, let's talk about what is GMP, and you're the founder of it. You started it. So let's talk about where it came from and what it is.
GMP stands for Georgia Marketing and Promotions, which is way too long a name, therefore GMP. About 18 years ago, I turned a hobby into a business. We were known then as Peach State Motorsports, but we kind of moved into the GMP name as we expanded our distribution and our market. But during that time, we have grown into maybe the number 2 in our category of die-cast collectibles worldwide.
Wow, let's talk about what is a die-cast. What does that mean?
Well, we produce replicas of real cars, and we produce them in different scales. 1/18th scale seems to be the most popular, and the idea of a replica is to make it as accurate as you can to the real car that you're replicating. Most of our subject matter is vintage, die-cast replicas of racing. A lot of it is muscle cars, but most of our successes come from replicating historic racing cars, from the old Indianapolis type race cars to Ferrari. So we're kind of pushing the nostalgia buttons of the baby boomers, and that's where we have found our most success.
Yeah, which is probably very smart.
Well, not by design. We just got lucky in that.
That's wonderful. Count. Well, let's talk about, had you always had an interest in cars? I mean, I think it always interests me to find out how somebody's hobby and or passion begins, and then how did you decide, hey, I want to make this into a living?
Well, it's yes, I've always been interested in cars, and our family seems to have always had gasoline running through their blood veins, and as a hobby, you know, and a race enthusiast and spectator, it was natural to try to find a way to make a living doing what you enjoy, which of course is the American dream. I was collecting the NASCAR collectibles back in the early 90s and finding that they were going up in value, And I learned more about this collecting trend where collectors want to get every release in a specific series. They don't want to miss one, whether it's spoons or mugs or plates, you know, whatever you're collecting, you don't want a hole in your collection. So we kind of played on that trend and signed up customers to get every release of our first product that was a die-cast transporters, replicas of the NASCAR teams. And it just, the timing was right, and we were able to sell a lot of those little transporters, and collectors were buying every release in the series. So we had some collectors that had all 20 transporters.
Wow, who knew? I mean, that's an interesting in to find out that I mean, that's very smart on your end of it. You know, to find that that's a niche and to kind of just be able to build on that. One thing that people may not know is, I mean, you're local. You're right here in Winder,
Yep.
But you have ties around the world. Share some of those ties with us.
Because of the worldwide appeal of our products, a lot of the race cars were performed at Le Mans, for instance. So in Europe, any car that raced at Le Mans, even if it crashed in the first turn, the collectors want that model. They are just avid historians of world-class racing. So that opened up our markets throughout Europe, Australia, Japan. We're in 63 countries. Some of the countries we sell to didn't exist when I started this business. A lot of them I can't pronounce, but we were able to get distribution worldwide, and 51% of our sales now are outside North America.
That's amazing. So here we are, little Winder, who I love, but we're kind of tiny, and yet you have, like you said, over 51%. So over half of your sales comes from outside.
Correct.
And that. Why do you think? What makes this business for you so successful?
Well, I think the licensing that we have is very strong. To be licensed with Ferrari is very difficult, and a lot of big companies are able to accomplish that, but not small companies. We also are licensed, of course, with Jaguar and Porsche and all of the General Motors and Ford properties. But that is the first thing you have to do. You can't make these replicas without license. And of course, we ship royalty money to everybody as well. But that helps in our success. The quality of our product is some of these small models have 800 parts in them. So there's a lot of detail, and we've just gotten a good reputation for quality and, of course, our customer service. And the product's in demand. And we have the right distribution. We show at a big show in Nuremberg each year, Germany. And we have a small display, but we take a lot of orders. We see all of our international customers at that event each February. So it's,
wow. So that sounds, I mean, so basically, even though you're here, you get to go to these different places, and that sounds fun. What kind of, is it a car show? What kind of show are you?
Well, this particular show is a trade show. So it's the industry of toys and hobbies and games, and it's acres and acres of displays of different companies of this nature. But we also show it like the Barrett-Jackson auctions, which a lot of car people are familiar with. Even the wives of car people like sitting and watching these auctions and what people pay for cars. Well, we display at some of these shows and do very well because the audience is there because they're car people.
Yeah,
So,
for that very purpose.
For that purpose.
Excuse me.
And
Yeah.
we also exhibit at races, historic race events at Pebble Beach in California in August. So we pick different venues where different populations of collectors might be. So the muscle car people may not be at Pebble Beach, but they'll be at Barrett-Jackson.
So right. So you cover your basis.
We catch that crowd there, yeah.
That's good. Now, your website has a lot of great gift ideas, and I don't know if our viewers are aware, but Christmas is coming quickly, and it's on its way. So what are some great gift ideas, especially for the car lover?
Well, we actually developed some products just for that reason, and also some products that the wife or girlfriend or mother of a car enthusiast can go on our website and pick out a $50 or $60 item. Some of our models are $4,000. We don't expect that to be a gift. But we have, for instance, replicas of dashboards, like a 57 Chevy dashboard that lights up. The instrument lights come on, all the controls move, and it's a business card holder. Perfect little gift idea for a car guy. Also Corvettes and a Mustang. Another priced for gift givers goodies like that a car person would like.
So they can go on your website and check it out. And which I loved your website. It was very user friendly.
Thank you.
A lot of great information about who you are, what you do. Because I'll be honest with you, when one of our best friends, Ben Green, works with you, and you are blessed to have him as he is blessed to have you. But when he talked about what he did for a living, I had no clue. He would say, I work for GMP, diecast. I didn't know what that was.
It's difficult to explain, and we usually carry our little brochures with us to help explain to people what we do, because it is difficult. Until you see and touch the models, you really can't understand.
You're right. And speaking of that, one of the things that was interesting was he continued with telling me what he did, and I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Well, my dad does a lot of motorcycle charity rides. So he goes to a lot of these charities. He rides motorcycles, and there's always drawings and things like that. And one day he came home with a model car. And our friend Ben was there, and he said, "Hey, we made that car." And I said, "What do you mean you made that car?" He said, "That's what we do." And I said,
boy.
"Oh,
How
okay."
about that?
So one of the things I thought was very interesting, he's gone on several of these, my dad has, and he always comes back with one of your cars.
Well, good.
And so obviously community involvement and support is paramount to GMP. Why do you think it's so important?
Well, we are giving back, you know. I mean, the Lord has blessed us mightily, and it's not for us to keep for ourselves. It's to share and spread around. Plus, some of these young people that we visit are someday going to have a Visa card. No, that's not why we do that. It's just fun sharing, and we love telling the story, because all of us at GMP are car enthusiasts, and we all are blessed, and we know it. And sharing that is as much fun as making the little models. So that's just part of the fruits of our labor, I think.
Well, it meant a lot to me, and I know that it's important, especially when you live in such a great community, to support it, and you do.
Yeah.
But I will say that one of the things I find just interesting about these car models that you do is that it fits just about everybody. I was telling you earlier, if my 3-year-old had gotten a hold of one of your cars, it would never look the same. But he loves that. My dad loves these old cars. It just brings back a lot of memories. So what you have been able to accomplish in your business, I think, is something that is very phenomenal. And that's kind of just to meet everybody where they are and encourage those car enthusiasts to continue being car enthusiasts.
Well,
what's your favorite thing about what you do?
You know, the favorite thing is meeting the people that we've met. A lot of the individual drivers that we license with were my childhood heroes. Names like Parnelli Jones and A.J. Foyt and Mario Andretti are now all friends because we have licensed and they love what we do. I've had time with Jay Leno. He's a collector. David Letterman's a collector. Tim Allen visits us. And they're just regular people, you know. They're seen as celebrities. But to get to know them just as car guys and collectors, that's been one of the most rewarding parts of the business.
Real quickly, how can viewers get more information about GMP?
They just go on our website, and that's gmpdiecast.com.
All right, well, you can get all the information there. Tom, thank you so much.
Thank
GMP.
you for having me.
My pleasure. We'll be back in just a minute with more Talk of the Town.
event of a car crash. 3 out of 4 kids are not as secure as they should be because their car seats are not used correctly. But the latch system makes it easier to get it right and to hold your kids tight. Anchor, tether, latch. Learn more at safercar.gov.
I'm home and I love it. I'm home where I belong. I'm home and I love it. I'm home where I belong.
It's always nice to come home. But these days, many Americans are at risk of foreclosure and losing their homes. Making Home Affordable is a free program from the U.S. government that has already helped over 1 million struggling homeowners like these. And we want to help you.
I'm home. I'm home. And I love it. I'm home. I'm home.
Find out now what your options are. Go to makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE. The sooner you act, the better chance we can help you.
I'm home where I belong.
There's a place not so far away. A place where you don't have to keep the volume down or clean up your room. A place where you don't have to make time for free time. You don't have to do anything but show up. You'll find all sorts of creatures in this place without have to. The silly you. The proud you. You may even meet the curious you.
Tickling me. You!
There are lots of yous to catch up with. Ask your parents to take you to this not-so-far-away place. Come to the forest, where the other you lives. But first, stop by discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Karen Allen, and I'm here with Keith Maney from Year One. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about Year One. I think it's one of those names that we kind of hear in passing, but I know personally I didn't know a lot about it. So I'd love for the viewers to know, what is Year One?
Well, we are primarily a company that provides restoration and performance parts for like vintage domestic automobiles.
So basically, our first guest, Tom, he dealt with the little tiny cars,
right,
and you do the real deal.
That's right. They're still toys.
Yeah,
we're talking to them
that's
about,
true.
But yes, we do the full size thing.
Okay, so kind of take me through something like a typical day at Year One. I'm sure it's not typical, but what are some things that you guys will do during the day?
There's definitely not a whole lot of typicalness about it, I guess. But primarily, like I say, we offer the goods and services, the products that people use to restore these old cars. So most of our business is done over the internet or via phone and catalog. So we have a big call center and a big warehouse and a big computer room now, of course, with the prevalence of the internet. But people order the products, we box them up and ship them out to them.
So you have all the products on hand. You don't have to distribute. I mean, they're not anywhere else. You have them on location for the most part?
The majority, yeah, we have in our warehouse. There are some items that are drop shipped depending on the type of item and the vendor that it comes from, but for the most part we have pretty much everything at our warehouse.
And share with our viewers where you're located.
We're in Brazelton.
Brazelton.
Right.
Again, one of the, I think my favorite things about this show, not just that it's cars, because I love cars, and most of us will always love cars. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I loved is that, Tom Long with GMP was located here in Winder. Right. Huge company, huge ties to outside this country, and you guys are the same way. You're in Brazelton, right, and people say, what, who, what? Brazelton. How large is your company?
We have about 100 employees, I guess, something in that neighborhood, and that will vary, of course, over the years. I mean, some years we had a little bit more, and certainly I've been there about 19 years. When I started, we had about 20 people.
Wow.
So yeah, we've got about 100 people right now.
Wow,
and,
so you've grown significantly.
We have,
in the
yes.
time.
We've been very fortunate.
And you've been there a long time.
Been there a long time.
Wow.
They haven't run me off yet. I don't know why.
Smart. They're smart. They know. Well, I mean, that's also says a lot. So how long has Year One been in existence?
We were actually incorporated in 1981, so next year will be our 30th year in business.
Wow, that says a lot.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, we've been fortunate in that we kind of have been riding the wave of the popularity of these particular cars, and over the course of the last 30 years, they've gone from just being old cars to being collectible cars now. So cars that are really worth quite a bit of money in some cases, and of course they have a huge following with car enthusiasts.
You know, Keith, I would like for, you know, you said they used to be called old cars and now they're called collectibles.
Right.
I would really like instead for people to not call me old but collectible. That would make me very happy.
That would be good for all of us.
So that would be nice. That's a really great way to consider that. It's not just an old car anymore, it's a collectible. It's now, do you get most of your business from people, like individual people, or is it more of a, you know, companies? Where do you get most of your business?
The majority of the business is, you know, is individual, are individuals. I mean, there are a few companies out there, obviously, that specialize in the restoration of these cars, and that's, you know, as our target demographic ages, those companies become more involved or more busy, obviously, because, you know, I don't want to go out and lay on the cold concrete anymore, and so most of our customers don't either. But over 90% of it is individuals that call up and to get the bits and pieces. It's a very do-it-yourself oriented hobby. So
that's true, because you know, I mean, I know my dad, he loves cars, and he's always said, I'm just going to get an old car in there, a collectible car in there, and start working on it. So he would be one of those people that would have called you and say, I need these parts or these parts.
Right.
Now you do a lot, Year One does a lot of traveling. For